This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms and opportunities for businesswomen to be seen and heard. This platform is for the women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. Come and join the Shine On You Crazy Daisy membership, offering online networking, co-working, collaboration and monthly masterclasses for you to grow your knowledge. Go to thedaisychaingroup.com for more information. These are the platforms to hear and share the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome to the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons, and today I am thrilled and excited to introduce you to Kate Clarke from Kate Clarke Marketing. Kate, thank you so much for being involved in the book and the podcast. Please tell us about your business.
So I'm Kate from Kate Clarke Marketing, and I do content marketing for health coaches and wellbeing businesses who want to be more visible and have consistency online so that they are bringing more consistent inquiries into their business.
Amazing. And we're going to get back into why you're niching. But what I loved reading about your chapter is that you start out saying, I'm not confident enough to run a business. And then through the twists and turns and rock bottoms, you start to plan for your own business. What happened in between that led you to knowing it was the right time?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think it's definitely never one thing, is it? Right. So I think motherhood definitely had a big impact on my confidence. When I had my twins, I just had this like superhero feeling of, if I can do that, then, I can do anything. I can do anything, right?
Yeah.
And I think and I touch on this in the chapter about my fertility journey, and it was not an easy one. It was a long, arduous journey. And I went through it was the lowest of the low, really. It was the most stressful time of my life, but I really threw myself into understanding myself a lot more. And I think that journey of self-awareness and self-discovery, I understood my emotions a lot better, and the fact that I could control my emotions and all of these, you learn more about how you're telling yourself stories all the time, and those stories of, I'm not confident, I'm not clever enough, I'm not assertive enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, and you learn that it's just your brain that's telling you these things to keep you safe and stop you from going outside your comfort zone. And so I think the combination of doing a lot of self-awareness stuff around when I was going through fertility problems, and then becoming a mother, and then that journey on top of that the combination of those two things was just like, right, well, this is so doable.
Honestly, this is the wonder of doing these podcasts and having now spoken to, I think, 180 authors in the book, is that the combination of that self-awareness, the personal development, as much as the business development, goes hand in hand. And when we try and just push forward on the business side without bringing in the personal development side, it's a much harder journey.
Oh, I agree, definitely. And for me, the personal stuff probably came first to make me believe that I could do the business side in the first place. But yeah, like 100%. If you're not doing that work and overcoming those fears, I guess, and I mean, that self-awareness just goes so far.
What made you decide to niche to the wellbeing industry?
So that, I mean, probably similar life experience. I've always been obsessed with personal development, and I call myself a recovering self-help junkie because I started reading, and we call it self-help, but for me it was personal development. But back then I believed I needed to be fixed. So it's a bit different now, whereas it is very much about learning new things all the time. And I love learning about myself, and I love learning about the world, and I love learning just how to, I don't know, like just do more stuff, I guess. More stuff isn't even the right word, because I don't want to do more stuff. It's not about, the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I guess it's just learning. I just love to learn. So I've always been obsessed with personal development, and that kind of psychological side of it, and I started doing yoga when I was 23. And so that personal development journey did start a long time ago for me. But I think with the fertility issues again, I got obsessed with more on the health side and about my body and about nutrition and food and what I was putting in. And the one thing that I get really passionate about, and the one thing that really like I get frustrated about, is the health of the planet, health of the people on it, and the food systems, and what we're eating, and all of this stuff is just, there's such a disconnect to what we're putting in our bodies, to people's happiness. And I just love working. I get so inspired by health coaches and people that I work with in the nutritional space that are just doing good things to improve people's health and well-being, and I just love and get inspired and passionate about all of that. So it's just something, like the interest has always been there, but I knew when I started my business that was the space that I wanted to be in, because it was what like lit me up, I suppose.
The passion comes through.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I think that it's so important for any business owner that you're passionate about what you do. And especially when you niche down, it's important that you are able to speak their language, to understand it. But also, if you're not passionate about that industry, about that niche that you're going into,
yes,
it's very hard to enjoy what you're doing. And you are so obviously very passionate about it, because of what it's given you, because it's what it's done for you. And that's amazing. I love that.
Thank you.
What does success look like to you?
This is always a funny question, isn't it? It's like, money obviously is very important. And for me, financial freedom probably. And that doesn't necessarily mean earning millions, but you need to have money to have financial freedom, and to have the freedom to do the things that I want to do with the family, travel, to be able to go places and not worry about, how much money is in the bank. I guess that success for me is not having to worry about what's in the bank, being able to live life without worrying about it. But also taking my kids to school and picking them up every day. Like the reason I literally wanted to work for myself, or the push, was for to have that time to do those things, to have that flexibility and that freedom. For a while, I think I did feel quite resentful. I was like, I can't do all this stuff in my business because I've got no time in the day, and I've got to take the kids to school and pick them up, and my day is so short. And then take a step back and you think, wait a minute, check in with yourself. Why am I actually doing this in the first place? So yeah, like success is actually being able to do those things and being able to work wherever I want, whenever I want, and still, have that career, I guess.
Sometimes it is literally changing those words, isn't it? From I have to take the kids to school to how lucky am I to be able to take the kids to school, or I want to take the kids to school. Because a lot of people, especially mothers, that change their working behaviors so that they can have time with the kids. It is the most important role of what you do.
Absolutely. And summer holidays as well, was a real eye-opener. Like last year, worked through the whole summer holidays, didn't have I don't even think I had a day off through the whole summer, because I was helping a client do like a big launch at the time. And I just didn't spend any time with the kids, and I thought, I'm not doing that again. No. So this summer has been totally different, and I've took time off, and we've had days out, and it's been amazing.
So just quickly, the title of your chapter is The Weirdo in the Room, and I think you're in pretty good company here to feel like you're the weirdo in the room. I think that's the whole point of the Crazy Daisies, is we're all told at some stage that we are weird in what we're doing, that we're crazy in what we're doing, that it can't succeed, and we all do it anyway. And that's the brilliance of, so thank you. I loved reading it in your chapter. I'm the weirdo in the room. Hi, me too.
Always felt like that. Always been the outsider.
and turning up in yellow. I love it. Thank you. If there was one lesson that you've learned that you would want every entrepreneur to know, what would it be?
This is a really difficult one, isn't it? It's because there's so many to what to choose from. I think probably the biggest one, and yeah, the biggest one is for me the whole failure thing. You know, everyone says, "Oh, fail quickly and fail hard and fail faster," and I really struggled with that concept. I was like, why would anyone want to fail? Like, you know, you want to put your stuff out there and you want it to work, and you just think, well, this, when you're doing it, you don't think this is not going to be right. You put it out there thinking this is what it needs to be, and I don't want to change it because I just want to be able to put a flag in the sand and move forward with it. But then you realize I've been through so many iterations of what a package and pricing and everything looks like. And as your confidence grows, you want to change it again and you want to change it again. And yeah, now I understand the concept of just do something. It doesn't need to be right, doesn't need to be perfect. Put it out there. If it's not right, then change, because you're going to change. You're going to constantly change it all the time. And that's just the way it is. I read a really interesting thing in a book. It was about content marketing, funnily enough, because that's what I do. But there was this guy, George Carr, his name is, and he wrote this book called Authentic Content Marketing. And in it, he talks about this ceramics study that was done. And in one group, the study was told they could only produce one piece. And in the other group, they were told they needed to produce as many pieces as possible in the time that they had. So obviously the ones that were creating just the one piece thought that theirs was going to be the best because they'd have time to, you know, create this amazing piece and really articulate it and do like all of the stuff they needed to do. And it turned out that that was the group that could produce as many pieces as possible in a short space of time, because with every single piece they improved what they did, and by the end of it they had like obviously a masterpiece because they you know, they'd improve their skills through every single piece. And I think that hit home for me in the sense of, yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
With your business, it's like
practice,
keep going and keep reiterating. And the more times you do it and the more times you change it, the better it's going to be. So I think that's been the biggest lesson for me.
I love it. And what is your favorite business book?
Again, difficult one. I think the biggest one, and the one that I read as I was kind of starting my business, was The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It was recommended to me by a friend who had also just started her business, and it's the one that sticks in my mind the most, because again, and it's all around that whole self-awareness and knowing when you are self-sabotaging and hitting those points where bad things will happen in your life, but it's because you're out of your comfort zone and you know, you're not kind of like aware of like all of the, you know, the shitstorm
that happens all the time. The Big Leap was the first book that I read on my business journey, and what I took out of it was that zone of genius.
Yes,
staying in your zone of genius.
Yeah,
I just thought if everybody did that, and it's not easy, but if everybody did that, what a joyous place working would be and is, when you just stay in your zone of genius and get other people to do the other things. So
and the opposite of that, of being in your, what does he call it, your zone of incompetence. I think that when he highlights the cost of living in your incompetence, because when you are doing the things that you're not good at, you're actually wasting. So like, how much money could you earn from the time that it's spent you to do those things? Like if you were in your zone of genius, you would earn more from doing the things that obviously you're very good at. So I probably didn't articulate that very well, but
worth reading the book.
that still sticks in my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm going to reread it, I think, actually, now that you've said that, because it is I read it 12 years ago, so I need to read it.
Wow, really?
Kate, thank you so much for being involved in the book and the podcast, and I look forward to getting your story out there.
Thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please like the video and click the subscribe button for this channel for more inspiration. If you're a businesswoman looking for that community that will support you and lift you up, come and join the Shine On You Crazy Daisy membership, offering online networking, co-working, collaboration, and monthly masterclasses to grow your knowledge. Go to thedaisychaingroup.com for more information. And for even more inspiration, please go to the link under the video and get your copy of the Shine On You Crazy Daisy series of books with inspirational and motivating stories from businesswomen around the world.